An ameliorative ability used only by the Lord. Laying hands on skin is proving so successful a technique that the public hospital itself is using it. Wellington Public Hospital, rather than scoffing at therapy it might once have called wacky, hippie, doolally nonsense, is embracing the treatment. Patients can't get enough of it. The hospital's taken on Nurse Bridget Hayden, and what she does, and she's trained to do this, what she does is lay her hands on the patient's skin, or just above the skin sometimes. And she learned the treatment in Colorado. She came back and she was scoffed at a bit, but now she's training dozens of nurses. And the treatment is immensely popular at Wellington Hospital. The laying on of hands. How does it work? In Wellington, Chris Wright.
I'm just going to focus my attention on you now, and begin by placing my hands on you.
Bridget Hayden's healing touch.
Patients will often say that they feel a warmth.
Dan Dunn is battling cancer, with Bridget's helping hands.
I'm placing my hand in specific areas that relate to the human energy system, including the organs of the body.
It was very much a case of, this could be a lot of mumbo jumbo, but I'll sit here and put that to one side and take it for what it is. And that's what I did. I put it to one side, and now you'd have to call me a believer because I have physical improvements.
At the close of her door, Bridget Hayden is opening a new age of nursing care. Not in an alternative health centre, but in Capital Coast Health's Wellington Hospital. It's based on a simple premise.
If you don't touch babies, it's a fact that they die. If you come home tired from work and your wife or partner puts their hand on you, rubs your shoulder, it's healing, it feels good, it's relaxing. Healing touch nursing care assists that person's healing process by using their hands to promote the relaxation response, allowing the person to be in the optimum state, internal state to heal.
At first she was labelled the airy-fairy nurse. Now she has a growing following. 70 other nurses have been trained by her to meet hospital demand. Robin Shane was a stand-up comic till an emergency amputation.
Well, now I do comedy, you see. I don't have to do stand-up, I can do sit-down or hop up.
Robin's mum, Brenda, worked with Bridget on Robin when he was in intensive care, running her hands over his son's body.
When I stood at the foot of his bed and put my two hands where his both feet should have been, I felt this, and this sounds really odd, but I felt this really stabbing, sharp energy just pulsating into my palm from where the leg was missing, and I caught it.
She believes she caught Robin's phantom pain. It's a pain that gives amputees the false belief the legs are still there. The accompanying pain can be debilitating.
I came off painkillers 5 weeks after my accident. I haven't taken serious painkillers since.
Rosalind's battling chemotherapy with the help of healing touch.
It's deeply relaxing. When I was actually lying on the table, it felt like all of a sudden the balance was coming back into my life. And you can feel a kind of a shift in the way you feel, and it's just been very healing. And I feel like I feel a lot more positive about facing life now.
Colleen Wanera's daughter, Moana, used healing touch to give her relief while she was dying from cancer.
She just laid back and completely relaxed. By the time Bridget had finished, she was in a deep sleep, and she stayed that way for several hours. And that's probably the most restful sleep that she had during the course of her chemo.
Traditional medicine is backing this alternative approach.
This is a procedure where nurses are working closely and intimately with the patients, with relaxed, high-quality time with them, and a lot of patients are finding this beneficial in helping them cope with complex cancer therapy. I haven't seen any evidence that this improves the healing of their cancers, but it is certainly having a positive effect on the patient's well-being.
No one's saying it's a cure, but success in medical procedures is measured by results, and so far the results of healing touch are becoming hard to ignore.
And indeed, Wellington Hospital says it hopes some other hospitals will follow its lead. One other thing, of course, on the Gisborne pathology business is what the Health Funding Authority have told us today is how many of the 5,000 smears they examined, how many were high-grade smears Dr. Bottrell missed. What we haven't been told is how many low-graders he missed as well, I guess.